Hey, welcome to NTO's Ministry. My name is Jay, and today we're going to talk about God and evil and sin. The problem in man and God and the relationship has been a controversial matter. One religion might say we are this and God is that, and the religion next to him will say the other. But the Jews, Muslim, and the Christians alike must come to an agreement of a merciful God. Yet most religion, if not all, has a problem with evil and sin and corruption and chaos and so on and so on. But who could answer the question of evil in this world? Some of them neglect evil and abstain from evil and flee from evil, not questioning why it's there. Philosophy asks the same question and inevitably conform the thoughts to a lesser God and totally deprave his attributes. We're not going to defend that God exists in today's topic, but with the existence of evil, it should be evident enough to believe in a greater God or a greater good. And with that perspective, we define who God is, and knowing who God is, we believe in a redemptive process planned by God. As in sundry times, God did bring about the scriptures to show who He is and who we are. Scripture teaches us something about God and evil, and when I say that the Jews, the Muslims, and the Christians believe in a merciful God, it is true, yet the understanding of God in a whole is different. In 1993, at the University of Davis, Edward Tabash made a case against God, saying, if the God of the Bible actually exists, I want to sue him for the negligence for being asleep at the wheel of the universe when my grandfather and uncle was gassed to death in Auschwitz. A statement like this is heavy, and one might question God when maybe your son dies in your arm, or you found out that you have an incurable disease, cancer, or maybe financially you cannot support yourself and be left with absolutely nothing. Any tragedy, we can point our fingers to God and evil as God's problem, not ours. Yet I disagree, and the scripture shows us something different. Today we're going to talk about the verse in Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 3. Sorry, verse 13. Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 13. Um, and Habakkuk seems to be a very intriguing book in the Bible of injustice and a man asking God the very same question we ask today. Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 2 said, O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save? Why doest thou shew me iniquity, and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass but the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. He goes on to seek God for an answer. There, as he waits for an answer, he gets an answer too pure, like always. Such was the case with Job, a rather longer book of the cause of evil and question of God and evil. Today we're going to realize that evil does not belong to God, nor does he commit such act, but evil are what we believe it to be part of sin. In many ways, everyone wants to believe in a God who is all-loving, merciful, not a cosmic killjoy, or a God who leaves his creation alone to be wrecked and into the depths of hell, God who sleeps at the wheel, and of course God who is not God at all. But is this the God of the Bible? Is God just all-loving, just merciful, or ignorant? Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 13 shows a different aspect of who God is and the idea of God in our age and the ages before us who challenge God and evil. Your eyes are too pure to approve evil, and you cannot look on wickedness with favor. That is the text we're gonna go expound on. So I'd like to draw a few points that I believe this verse is teaching us about God and man and the problem of sin and evil. Point one, God is foremost holy. He is just and he is righteous. Without a God who is perfect, does not change, that brings order, brings superiority, there will be no God. God of the Bible is God who is feared among the people because he is so perfect and holy. The Lord is righteous in all his ways and holy in all his works. Psalms chapter 105 verse 17. We ought to be holy before we can come to God, for no man can see God and live, because of sin which dwells among men. And if the reader believes that they are capable of not sinning, then let us conclude that theory with the Ten Commandments. If you have never failed to disobey even one commandment, I can assure you none has obeyed all the laws. Though you say outwardly you have obeyed the law and the sacrifices, though such sacrifices cannot be made, since no temple exists today for the Jews or whoever wants to do sacrificial sacrifices with the lamb and the blood. Sin is a state of mind, not an outward act. Otherwise, I'm confident enough to know that whether it is the past, present, or future we have sinned, we shall sin, and we are sinners. Can God remove our sin without the penalty of sin? Can God remove his eyes from wickedness? Again, the text says, your eyes are too pure to approve evil. You cannot look on wickedness with favor. And even a small jot of sin can have his eyes turn away from you. Even the Jewish Talmud speaks of there is no death without sin. Because the wages of sin is death. Romans chapter 6 verse 23. God is holy. He must be pure and also just. Can anyone really say that they have followed all the law requires? And such sacrifice did you commit? The Bible speaks of no one else but God himself and the Son of God, Jesus Christ. Not only was such sacrifice of sin offering was required, but we read in the books of Hebrews chapter 10 that speaks of full obedience, that is, to do his will. If we believe in a God who is not attributed to those, that we believe in a weak God,